Hello, everybody, and welcome in on this Wednesday morning. It is just about 10 o'clock, right at 10 o'clock, and I'm Brooks Baptiste checking in from the First Alert Desk. This morning, we do have a big story that we are staying on top of. We are expecting to hear from the DeKalb County CEO regarding a major investment out there. We're talking $8 million that is going to be put towards securing transitional housing. This will be in Stone Mountain, so there in DeKalb County. I do want to give you a little background about this before we hear from the DeKalb County CEO, Lorraine Cochran Johnson. But again, if you are joining us this morning, this has been one of the bigger stories that we're staying on top of and that we are watching. So right here, let me give you just an idea. If you're familiar with DeKalb County, then obviously you're familiar with Stone Mountain in this area. But according to the county, the 60 units will be at the park at 500 apartments. Now, these units essentially are going to serve many of the unhoused and housing insecure families that are there in the area. And many of the families and there's those units are going to be I should say, many of the families that the units will be serving are currently living in extended stay motels, according to the county. Now, according to the county, they say there's no shortage of need, which I think we know that there is a housing crisis that is not just in DeKalb County, but it's everywhere in the metro. A lot of cities seeing it and some seeing it harder than others. But there's data that supports this fact about 100 families, more than 100 families, and many of them with children are living in extended stay motels. And oftentimes they don't have access to basic stability. So again, this is according to the regional property manager at First Place Management. So right now, they believe there's a major need for this, and they believe that this $8 million investment is going to be something that will be put towards great use in DeKalb County. The DeKalb County Board of Commissioners actually approved this $8 million investment that, again, is aimed at securing the transitional housing. And this is something that we know DeKalb County CEO Lorraine Cochran Johnson, she spoke about even when running. That was one of those initiatives that she was pushing for. So we are going to take you to that live the moment that we see them, come up to the podium and whatnot. But right now it appears that they are still getting set up. But for now, I'm going to turn things over to First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. Courtney, we're talking about the weather today. Something that I think was so crazy that you guys talked about the quote unquote small cool down, but then it's about to jump back up all over again. I just can't keep up at this point.
That's right. Just hop on the roller coaster and hold on tight. That's all you can do. Yeah. Enjoy today while it lasts because, today is going to trend a little cooler than yesterday, actually significantly cooler than yesterday with temperatures, as you can see, as Brooks brings that in for you, in the 80s through the afternoon. Ooh, 80s in July? Yeah, that's pretty good stuff, and it doesn't happen very often, so enjoy it, and it is going to be brief for us, so make sure that, you get out and enjoy if you can, bring the lunch outside, anything like that. It'll all be good for you to do today. You'll also notice that rain chance on there through the day today. That is thanks to a front that's currently stalled over the area right now. We had that front move through yesterday, brought us some of the rain and storms, and that is now kind of just stuck over the state of Georgia. So that will promote more showers and storms today. We're already seeing some showers float in this morning from the east. They'll push off to the west, and then later this afternoon, we'll mainly look along and south of the I-85 corridor, or I-75 corridor, excuse me, or I really should say along and west of the I-75 corridor. I'm First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. Let's get into this. And again, we are keeping an eye on the press conference that is supposed to occur here shortly. So we'll take you through the weather until that begins. So here's a look at the hour by hour today. Best chance for rain will be in the middle of the day. So between about now and noon will be our best chance for rain. Again, mostly from Atlanta off to the west, but we have had a few showers east of the city so far this morning. And then by 3 o'clock, only a 20% chance for rain, and then the rain chance at 10% or less through the evening. But most importantly, those temperatures today topping out in the 80s. Yeah, 88 for a high in Atlanta. We'll head it only into the low 80s up in the mountains later today. And then 85 for a high in Griffin, 84 in Carrollton, the normal high 90 degrees. So yeah, that's pretty nice if you ask me for the summertime months. All right, now when it comes to the rain, again, there's a cold front that's moving through, and we call these backdoor cold fronts because they move in the opposite direction. Instead of coming in from the northwest, they're coming in from the northeast. So as that continues to kind of push off to the southwest through the day today, it will help develop storms through the afternoon. So again, from Atlanta off to the west, that's where we're going to look for the best chance for storms today. Otherwise, east of the city, so in north and east Georgia, drier air is going to start to usher in. And don't get me wrong, it's not going to feel fall-like, but we're going to say goodbye to dew points in the 70s, which is super sticky. That is tropical air. And hello to dew points in the low 60s by 10 o'clock tonight. So again, that's not fall-like, but that's a lot more comfortable. And take a look at this. Tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock, we could potentially have some dew points in the upper 50s in the mountains. Now, that is really comfortable. And dew points area-wide across Metro could drop into the upper 60s. So it's not going to be quite as sticky, not quite as miserable. But again, it's not going to be fall-like, but just a touch down enough for you to notice after some really sticky days. But take a look at this. By tomorrow afternoon, it just ramps right back up, and we're back into the super tropical air mass. So enjoy that brief break tonight and tomorrow morning while it lasts. And you'll want to enjoy the break from the 90s as well, because they will return late week. So your pool forecast, you'll probably want to spend some time by the pool. Thursday and Friday, we're back in the low 90s. Very minimal rain chances Thursday and Friday. So you have every opportunity to get outside as we round out these last few weeks of summer break for the kiddos. This weekend, we get even hotter. An area of high pressure is going to develop, and it's not an upper level high, it's not a surface high. It is a full stack of the atmosphere high pressure, so a very strong area of high pressure. And that is going to continue to build through the weekend, really strong. In fact, one of the strongest areas of high pressure we've had so far this season. Why is that important? Underneath an area of high pressure, air sinks. When air sinks, it warms. It also kind of shuts off the water for us, so it doesn't promote any kind of shower activity. So Saturday will be mostly dry. Sunday, when the high is the strongest, we're completely dry, and we're also a lot hotter. So take a look at this. Temperatures going through the next several days. We're going to be in the low 90s to round out this week. Mid-90s expected for the weekend, but then yes, you are looking at upper 90s Monday and Tuesday. We'll near record heat next week. We could potentially have our hottest day of the year next week, which would be Tuesday if we do reach 99 degrees. So we're going to be flirting with triple-digit heat, and we're not talking feels like temperatures. We're talking physically at the surface. So get ready for that heat to return in a big way next week, and it will still be pretty muggy. So more than likely, we'll have some heat advisories next week as well. Here's a look at that First Alert 7-day forecast. So no First Alert weather days right now. If we do look like we're going to have some dangerous heat next week, we will give you a First Alert weather day, so that could be the Monday, Tuesday time frame. But for now, we're looking at a chance for scattered showers today. A few drifting through right now, but then mainly Atlanta off to the south and west is where we'll watch for scattered showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder to develop later today. Not expecting severe weather, mostly cloudy, cooler, little light breeze today with highs in the upper 80s, and then we'll be in the low 90s Thursday and Friday, and mostly dry outside of just a few isolated showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon hours. Mostly dry through the weekend in the mid-90s, and then upper 90s next week. So get ready for it, because it's coming whether we like it or not. All right, we are going to send you back out to the press conference that we're waiting to start. It looks like people are starting to come up to the podium here, so Brooks will take over from here for you.
All right, Courtney, thanks so much for that. And if you are just joining us right now, of course, the big story today is talking about this major $8 million investment that is going to take place in DeKalb County, where it's been approved. This will be an investment into transitional housing. We are expecting to hear from DeKalb County CEO Lorraine Cochran-Johnson, who's just behind the woman who is here at the podium right now. So we will take you on the inside as they get things underway, and then we'll be sure to make sure we have an update about all of this on Atlanta News First at noon. But again, as we're waiting, just giving them a second before they actually get started, the big thing here is, according to the county, the 60 units are going to be at the park at 500 apartments. This is in Stone Mountain, and essentially these units are going to serve many of the unhoused and housing insecure families. DeKalb County is saying that there is no shortage of a need out here, because there are definitely a lot of people who could use some of that housing and whatnot. So again, we'll have an update for you on Atlanta News First at noon, but let's take you on the inside.
A landmark moment for DeKalb County. I'm Deanna Smith, the Chief Communication Officer for DeKalb County Government, and I have the privilege of serving as today's moderator as we announce the launch of the partnership with Park 500, a 60-unit rapid rehousing initiative that will provide immediate, stable housing to families currently living in extended stay motels. We will begin here shortly with CEO Cochran Johnson's opening remarks and sharing more details about the partnership and the excitement from our administration about this investment in DeKalb's future. We will also hear from our commissioners, specifically our commissioners this is their current district. We'll also be joined by our DeKalb Housing Authority and other partners that we were working with to make this initiative successful. So I will now turn it over to CEO Lorraine Cochran Johnson.
Good morning. I am going to take executive privilege, and let me say that I only stand here today in front of you because of the support of our DeKalb County Board of Commissioners. And for us, I want to say that this is a very pivotal time because what you see here today is historic. DeKalb County is moving towards making strategic investments in housing that will ultimately define our future. So because this particular area, if you're standing here, you are in District 6. If you cross the street, you're in District 7. We will begin with District 4, and thereafter you will hear from our super district commissioners because you are standing in their districts, and I will then give my remarks after that time. So I'll defer.
Good morning, everybody. I am Shakira Johnson, the Commissioner for District 4, which we are sitting and standing in District 4 right now. I cover parts of Stone Mountain, Clarkson, Pine Lake, Avondale, and everywhere in between in central DeKalb County, and we're just very excited to be here today on this momentous occasion, as this is just a great partnership that DeKalb County is entering into with the DeKalb Housing Authority here at Park 500. Quite often you hear us talk about One DeKalb. We've also on the Board of Commission been talking a lot about compassion. And this is just one way to bring compassion to helping those in homeless situations, unhoused situations. These 60 units of rapid rehousing are just going to provide an opportunity for them to get off the streets, to get out of the extended stay hotels, and provide them with the opportunity to get integrated back into a community. We will be providing wraparound services here at Park 500, and those services will ensure that they are more successful and staying off the street and just providing them with everything that they need to fulfill them on every level, whether it's physical, mental, all their well-beings. All those services will be here for them. So we're just excited for this opportunity. I know me and my fellow Board of Commissioners voted unanimously on this item just yesterday, knowing that this was such a big, momentous moment and opportunity for us here in DeKalb County. So again, excited for this opportunity, excited for this partnership, looking forward to see how this continues to grow and how we can take this model and put it into other districts and other areas. But again, happy that it's starting here in District 4, where there's such a great need. We see these issues along Memorial Drive, and this is so close to Memorial Drive and other areas where we'll have great impact. So thank you so much. Thank you, Madam CEO, for the opportunity and making sure you put all the pieces in place for this partnership to be successful. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Commissioner Ted Terry, Super District 6. First off, thank you to Madam CEO for her visionary leadership and really assembling a team, bringing all of us together to be really laser focused on what the real issues are and how we solve them. Over the last several months, there's been a lot of behind the scenes work from her administration, the team in the cabinet who have been really trying to, talk about and solve this issue that is gripping all of Metro Atlanta, including the entire country, is how do we address the unhoused crisis? And that unhoused crisis doesn't just show up in encampments or individuals at interstate exits. It's in extended stay hotels. It's our DeKalb County students that are doubling up in bedrooms and couches, maybe living in their cars. And what we're talking about here today is creating a pipeline for those who all too often when we interact with them on the streets or at extended stay hotels, they say, can you help? And we say, potentially. Do you have an apartment? Do you have a house? Do you have a place that I can stay? And sometimes the answer is yes, other times it's no. And that's simply a supply and demand issue. And so what's happening here today, what we voted on yesterday, is really cementing an ownership stake in a process that hopefully will be perpetual. The investment that we make in our coordinated entry, our street teams, working with partners in the industry that are good actors in the hotel industry, but also our housing authority, and then our affordable housing developers. There's a pipeline here. Yesterday, we also passed our resolution stating our agreement that housing first is the best approach to addressing the unhoused, homelessness, and housing insecure folks in DeKalb County. And so combining those things, this is really setting in motion that housing first model from the very beginning of someone who might be getting evicted, losing their home, in an extended stay, or even out on the street, and helping them get back on their feet. It really is a hand up, not just a handout. I want to appreciate all my commissioners because this definitely is something that we've been hearing about at the board, public comment for many months, if not years. And we heard the calls, we've been to the meetings, we've talked a lot about things that we want to do, but today we are taking action. So again, thanks to Madam CEO, our Board of Commissioners, for taking action. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Dr. Ladina Bolton. I am the Commissioner representing Super District 7. And as our beloved CEO indicated, if you walk right outside this door and just do a little hop across the street, you are in District 7. So I think we chose, and I say we because we are one DeKalb, we chose an amazing location to pilot this project because this is where several of our districts meet, and this is the heart of DeKalb where many of our residents are in need. And so we have the greatest opportunity to support them with this hub being right here in this location. And I do want to start by saying thank you to our CEO, her administration, as well as our fellow commissioners for demonstrating the courage to act on innovation. This visionary leadership has translated bold ideas into tangible solutions that directly benefit our community. It's through this kind of forward-thinking action that transformative change becomes possible. And yesterday's milestone is a true testament to that commitment. And the unanimous vote by the DeKalb County Board of Commissioners, again, is a transformative moment, one rooted not only in vision, but in measurable impact. And if you just kind of go along with me as I talk about some of these numbers, because as a scientist and a policymaker, I instinctively evaluate such initiatives through the lens of long-term outcomes. So if we think about with 60 units dedicated to rapid rehousing over the next 10 years and an average household size of about 3 individuals, this $8 million investment has the power to touch the lives of nearly 1,000 people. These are families currently living in extended stay motels on the edge of survival who will now have the chance to transition into permanent housing and live grounded lives in stability and sustainability. Park 500 is more than just a brick and mortar that keeps family warm, dry, and safe. It's a catalyst for generational change. And as someone who was raised right here in DeKalb County, someone who, when I was young, we lived in a lot of apartment buildings from as far north as Doraville, all the way down to Stone Mountain. And then in a season of our lives when my mom was making the attempt to help stabilize a home for my brothers and I, we spent a lot of time living with family members and living with friends until she had the opportunity to purchase her first home. And this helped to provide a community for us, consistency in our education, but I think most importantly, it set the stage for where I would raise my family. So today, only 59% of DeKalb County residents own the homes they live in. That means 41% are renters. They're unhoused, or they're relying on these extended stay hotel shelters. And as the Super District 7 Commissioner, I've made it my mission to shift this reality, to increase stable home ownership and long-term housing security. Hopefully that's something we can do as a unit, as one DeKalb, increase that number to 75% over the next 6 years. And this project is just one tool. As Commissioner Terry indicated, it's one tool in a broader strategy to help address our housing insecurities. And so I just want to reiterate that in District 7, our motto is growing businesses and empowering families, because this is a call to action for a holistic community development. And that philosophy is embedded right here at Park 500, where housing intersects health, employment, and local investment. So through this initiative, we are laying the foundation not only for shelter, but for equity and economic mobility. And again, I want to thank my colleagues on the Board of Commissioners for their bold leadership and shared commitment to this cause. Together, we are demonstrating what is possible when data, compassion, and action converge. I look forward to joining our CEO and her amazing administration as partners to officially launch the Park 500, a landmark step toward ending our housing insecurity and empowering every corner of this amazing county. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And in the spirit of inclusion, you've heard from District 4, District 6, and District 7. Today, I am so excited because we, as a Board of Commissioners, we stand in unity. I'd like to also acknowledge our District 1 Commissioner, Robert Patrick. I'd like to acknowledge as well our District 2 Commissioner and Presiding Officer, Michelle Long Spears. And last but not least, I'd like to acknowledge our District 3 Commissioner, Nicole Messiah. And unable to be with us here today, but with full representation, I'd like to acknowledge Commissioner Marita Davis Johnson in District 5. So let me begin by saying thank you to Deanna, to my entire team, because this particular project is one that we have been working on now for several months. Of course, the warm introductions are great, but today we're here not just because we are cutting a ribbon or having a press conference. We are here because we are celebrating what I call a bold new era in DeKalb County government. It is an era where we invest in people, where we respond to both housing as well as community needs, and we prepare for a future that is grounded in equity and principle. And we move forward with a practice that shows and demonstrates our values. So I want to be clear on how we get here, because the challenges that we face in DeKalb, I want to be very clear as it relates to housing, they are not unique. Across the United States, what we've seen is a decline in access to affordable housing. We estimate that that decrease has been between 34% overall, which is a significant reduction. Also across DeKalb County, we are seeing individuals who are cost burdened. Over 50% of renters in DeKalb County have indicated that they are in need of more affordability. In 2023, I was proud to fund a study that was conducted by Ernst & Young that showed for individuals who earned minimum wage that they would need to work approximately 140 hours each week to afford a 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit in Metro Atlanta. Not only is that unsustainable, it is unrealistic. So when we talk about affordable housing, many of us who are present here today, who may be homeowners, if we were to sell our homes, we could not afford to buy them back. We are quickly seeing across Metro Atlanta a great divide, a divide between affordability and what we often refer to as the American dream. No longer are homes affordable and or rental units. So today, Park 500 represents DeKalb County's first ever county-owned rapid housing initiative. This $8 million investment was approved unanimously by our Board of Commissioners, and it will deliver to DeKalb County residents 60 move-in ready units that we will move forward within a 60 to 90-day period. Let me be clear that this is not temporary assistance. What we are creating is a long-term transformational investment in housing that will be available to our residents for many years to come. It will not only provide housing, but it will also provide dignity, because we are transitioning individuals who live in our extended stay motels into housing that is affordable. Through this project, we also will provide much needed wraparound services. Many individuals who find themselves in extended stay are in need of case management, so we will be providing job assistance, child care coordination, because no individual should have to worry about the cost of child care or access to quality child care as they earn their living. And we are also very excited because we are giving individuals who are in need of a real shot at stability and opportunity. But this is also about something bigger. I want to be clear that Park 500 aligns directly with my broader vision for how DeKalb County must lead. I urge everyone that hears about this project to consider these types of opportunities for their communities and constituents. As the CEO of DeKalb County, I have been intentional in pushing us to rethink how we govern and the opportunities that we provide for those who are often our most vulnerable. But I believe DeKalb County must be an owner. We are now an investor, and we are a long-term steward in this project. So Park 500 is a prime example of that. So this isn't just a subsidy. DeKalb County now holds ownership interest in the property where you stand. And we will create a reinvestment fund for the monies that we receive to continually invest in housing, in property acquisition, for subsidizing rent, and also expanding housing access. This model ensures that our investment does not end today, but it grows, it multiplies, and our investment here will be sustained. And none of this would be possible without the commitment of several partners who've come to the table, and also the courage of our Board of Commissioners. So I want to thank each and every one of you that have come today, for our commissioners to stand with me, because this is so important, and I'm so excited to see us get started with providing the housing that we all share and hold dear for the community. So to our partners in the Housing Authority, I'm very excited because you came with a model and I said, make us an owner. And you have done just that. So to Pete Walker and your team, you've brought a vision to life. And you've done it with both urgency and integrity. And to Sue Sullivan and the advocates who have consistently sounded the alarm to the huge need of the families that are within our extended stay hotels. Your voice made this possible. And we are better for your advocacy and for your care for community. So today, it is about housing, yes, but it's also about leadership, it's about legacy, and it's about community. So thank you all so much. And at this time, I would like to call forward our Chief Development Officer. He is the first in DeKalb County, Jacob Vallow, to make a few remarks. We sat for many hours and we discussed models that we could move forward. And I come from that old Oprah Winfrey school of thought that it's time that we own and we make long-term investments in community rather than give millions of dollars only to face the same challenge. So Jacob, please come forward if you're present to make some remarks, and thank you for your stewardship.
Thank you, Madam CEO. It's great to be with everyone today. And I heard the courage word used a few times, but I'm going to use it again because the courage of the Board of Commissioners and the vision and courage of Madam CEO to make this happen for the people of DeKalb is truly remarkable, and it's monumental for DeKalb County and its citizens. This project is about housing, but at the end of the day, it's about people and helping people. And everyone behind me and around me, we all wake up every day working for the people of DeKalb, and I'm just so grateful for having been involved in this project. And the visionary structure that we are doing here is going to be grown and multiplied to help more people. So thank you so much, and thank you to all those I work with on the project.
Thank you to our Board of Commissioners. Thank you, CEO. Thank you, Jacob, and all of our partners. At this time, I'd like to open up for questions, specifically from the press. If you just nod or raise your hand, I will call on you so we can keep it orderly. And we'd like to keep questions specifically to this project, our overall strategy around economic development and affordable housing. Are there any questions? Hi, Zoe.
I have two questions, maybe for the CEO, maybe for the Housing Authority. The first one is just how did y'all identify this property for this project, and then what wraparound services will be provided?
Okay. Come on up, Pete, and stand with us, because let me say that the investment that you see here was quite time sensitive. But I didn't want to move forward until we had chosen the proper model based upon the dollar amount that we had to invest in the project. And of course, the initial conversations were had between Mr. Walker, who is our CEO of the DeKalb County Housing Authority, as well as our Chief Development Officer. And after considering multiple projects that had been brought forward, both independently and through secondary sources, this made sense, because I want to be clear, there are some projects that we are still considering and they are simply more long-term. This provides rapid housing. Across DeKalb, what we're dealing with is an urgent need for housing. So when we realized that within a 60 to 90-day window, we could actually begin transitioning families within the dollar amount that we wish to invest, it simply just made sense. And I want to defer at this time to Pete Walker. Okay.
Good morning. Madam CEO, as usual, you pretty much said it all. I think that was a great answer. We acquired this property in March of 2024, and we did look at a number of different options for this type of partnership, and it just felt it was the best fit for it. We have a total of 556 units in this property, so we thought that we would be able to blend people in, and that's really one of the things that's really important. We don't want people to be isolated as they try to transition out of homelessness, and that's part of it. That was a big part of it as well.
Are there any other questions?
What is the dollar amounts of that investment, and what did it come from? Federal funds, state funds, county funds, city funds?
That is a great question. What you see here today is the result of an $8 million investment of federal funds. And when I spoke of the time sensitivity, of course, we need to get those funds out. And I believe our drop date may be September. Got a thumbs up. And of course, you know, each and every week during those weekly meetings, I'm reminded this is time sensitive. But I want to be very clear that DeKalb County moves forward in a strategic way. We don't just do what's comfortable, we choose to do what's right. And I also want to commend Mr. Walker because we asked for ownership in the project, not just to make a financial contribution. Now, as it relates to the services that we'll be providing here, those wraparound services, I want to walk us through those because they are very important. They include case management for each and every resident. We will also provide job assistance and job placement through WorkSource DeKalb and our partners across DeKalb County that have job opportunities. We will also provide child care coordination through partners in which we currently make financial investments for child care. So we are bridging the gap between the resources that we are donating to those child care facilities and families that are in need of quality child care in order to earn a living. Also, we will work with those families. Ultimately, I want to see everyone here who desires to have the opportunity of home ownership. So we will work with our partners who provide down payment assistance to transform and transfer as we transition many individuals into ultimately home ownership through down payment assistance. So those are the services at this time that we will be providing, and I'm very excited because these are things that our housing authority has been doing for years. So they are more than capable and competent, and we are very excited about the partners who have indicated that they are willing to assist us and help transform the lives of these families and individuals. Any other questions? Yes? That is a great question. The numbers we are currently using show that there are slightly over 100, and that is only at 2 extended stay facilities. Only 2. However, I want to commend Commissioner Terry as well as Commissioner Long Spears, who recently funded through Sue Sullivan a study that will take place of all of our extended stay motels to help us have a more realistic idea of the total number of families that are living in extended stay facilities. Those numbers were honestly what led us here today, and we will continue to work aggressively towards transitioning families. I want to be very clear, because of the cost, the daily cost that is associated with extended stays, individuals who have incomes, even if they are low to moderate, can often afford, if given an opportunity, that hand up, not a handout, to move progressively into long-term housing at lower cost. And that's what we're proving right here today at Park 500. Are there any other questions? Okay, well, I think our work may be done here. Oh, yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Coats, gloves, or whatever, and it broke my heart
Well, thank you. We are very proud to be a group of dedicated public servants. And understanding the challenges that many families face, we're very excited about this project, which is the first in a series of housing projects that we currently have in the pipeline. So continue to look towards DeKalb to be leaders in innovative ways to provide housing as well as wraparound assistance that will ultimately result in affordable housing for those who are most in need. So thank you all so much for coming. We appreciate your presence here today.
In closing, just if you all, the press in particular, have additional questions, you can reach out to myself, Deanna Smith, or Sloan Turner, or Quinn Hudson with DeKalb County Public Affairs, and we can help with additional questions. We also have copies of the press release that we released yesterday, so if you did not receive that, it has a lot of the facts and more about the strategy in that document as well. And this will also air on DC TV in its entirety if you'd like to go back and relook at the press conference. Thank you all so much for coming out, and lots more to come. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching ANF Plus. For more breaking news, live coverage, and your community stories, download the Atlanta News First app. You can also watch us on YouTube, Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. To join the conversation on YouTube Live, visit our channel and hit subscribe. You can also listen to the Atlanta News First podcast by searching Atlanta News First on your preferred listening platform.